Morning, Arsene.
Morning.
Could we start with the team news, please, out of the Chelsea game?
Last week against Reading, we got Mertesacker injured. At the moment, he has not been out. He's still in treatment. In the treatment room, I don't know if will he be available or not. Apart from Mertesacker, everybody else should be available.
Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, is he getting closer?
He's still out, of course. He has not been in training. He's not considered at all.
I think you mentioned last week that Mikel Arteta is he getting closer?
He's getting close. He's back in full training. He's still a bit short physically to go into a game of that intensity.
If Per doesn't make it, Gabriel showed in the FA Cup semi-final he's more than ready to step in.
He is ready, yes, and he came on last week on Saturday, and I think if Per is not ready, Gabriel will start.
Just lastly for me, how surprised have you been, or how pleased have you been with how quickly the three South Americans you brought in, how quickly they've adapted to English football?
The South Americans are ready to come into English football now, and they adapt very well. But sometimes they have gone for another country, like Gabriel has played at Villarreal, and certainly that speeds up the adaptation after in England, because they know already what is expected from them.
What are the chances of Per Mertesacker playing against Chelsea if you were going to rate him as things stand?
50-50 at the moment, yes. He has not practiced at all.
I know you touched on this last week, or the week before rather, but if you were to win against Chelsea, would you, with 7 points the difference and still 5 games to go, would you consider yourselves back in the title race?
Look, mathematically it will be possible, yes, but Chelsea has their future and their championship in their hands. What we can do is to get closer to them, and we have an opportunity to do that at home, and we want to take it.
Are you any closer to explaining why in 12 attempts you've not been able to beat Mourinho? So it could be unlucky. You could make it the lucky 13, of course.
No, look, I think we have not always lost, first of all, in 12 attempts. We were a few times close to beat them, and they had always very strong teams as well. But having always said that, the result on Sunday will be just down to the performance on the day. We are on a good one. We have an opportunity at home to beat them, and we want to take it.
I can't remember an Arsenal team going into this fixture on such a good run of form. Do you expect that to make a significant difference?
Of course, we have from a good run of form you get a good belief, and we have a good solidarity, and we know that we have passed many tests recently where we was questioned. It's the first time we didn't win away from home at Man City and things like that. So we have passed many tests, and we have another test on Sunday that we want to pass.
Will it require something different tactically from your team?
What it will require is basically Chelsea's strengths is, if you look at their numbers, they have been very, very efficient on counter-attacks, very efficient on set pieces as well. So to nullify that strength, of course, will be important.
How is your relationship with Jose Mourinho now? Is he a different person having come back to English football compared to when he was 10 years
younger? I don't
younger?
know, and I do not want to talk about that, because I think what is interesting for people is when the game starts at 4 o'clock to have a great game. That's what English football needs, is that Arsenal against Chelsea is a big football game. It's not about the relationship between the managers.
Is he different though?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
Winning on Sunday, is it an opportunity for you not just to obviously have an impact on this season, but perhaps even lay down a marker even psychologically ahead of next season? Because
yes, you know, we dropped the points at the start of the season since January. We have made I think we are top of the league since January, so we have an opportunity to show that improvement is consistent, that we want to continue our run. That's the first target, to continue to win. We want to strengthen our position as well at the top of the league, in the second position, because that's far from being done, and we have an opportunity as well to get closer to Chelsea, and we want to take it.
How worthy champions would Chelsea be? How would they compare if they go on to win it to teams that have won it in the last 5-6 years?
Look, they have been very consistent until now. There is a team who has lost less games than any other team. So the championship, premiership rewards the consistency. And on that front, if you look at their record, they have been defensively very strong and very consistent.
Just a few words on, if you would, on AP McCoy. He runs his last race, big Arsenal fan.
Well, my final encouragement for him, and to invite him after to dedicate his time to support Arsenal.
Arsene, has Eden Hazard been the most effective player in the Premier League this season?
Outside of Arsenal players, yes.
But even including Arsenal players, has he not had
Look,
more of an
he has
impact?
been I think everybody would agree that he had a great season. He has found maturity that he had not before. I believe in his final ball he's better, his personality on the pitch is stronger, his finishing, the finishing aspect of his game is much better than before, and he can turn games over when it's 0-0 and when it's tied, so that's always a sign of top quality.
Are you going to spend quite a bit of time talking to your team about how to stop him?
We have to, of course, one of the aspects of that game will be to keep Hazard quiet.
You've beaten Manchester City and Manchester United in big games, so how important is it for the belief of your team to beat Chelsea now?
It is very important. It is very, very important for us to beat them, and I think everybody on board is highly focused to achieve it, and we will prepare well to do that on Sunday.
And you mentioned earlier on that your record against Jose Mourinho is not a good one. Is this your best chance of beating him?
No, you know what? It's not a confrontation. It's a confrontation of two clubs and of two teams. And I do not. I'm not a great believer in history. I just think football is down to the fact that the performance on the day will decide the game and the result. So let's focus on that.
Arsene, I know you don't place great importance on the record against Jose, but do you feel you have to change your approach or do something different against his team?
Look, I just answered that question. I think we have to focus on our game and play it as well as we can.
Mourinho's sort of got this reputation as a sort of tactical genius, I guess. Is that justified, do you think?
Look, you are the judge. You watch the games. It's not me to assess. My job is to focus my team on the game and to prepare my team. Your job is to assess all the geniuses you can meet, and I leave you that job.
Do you expect Chelsea to try and shut the game down in the same way they did against United last week?
I don't know. We will adapt to what they do and try to find a solution. The challenge for us in top level sport is to find solutions to every problem you meet.
I mean, he has a habit of being quite cautious, quite negative in big matches. Surely that's what you expect him to do at the Emirates, isn't it?
Look, as I just told you, we want to be at our best on Sunday and prepare ourselves to face the challenge and to find a solution to every problem we will face on Sunday, and that's not necessarily to have a negative Chelsea team in front of us. It might be very attacking, and we have to face any situation we can meet on Sunday.
It's Cesc Fabregas's first return to the Emirates, I think. It's time passed now, but do you have any regrets about not bringing him back in?
Look, the regret I have is that he wanted to live here. I think this club and myself had a very positive influence on Cesc's life, So I would be rather a bit uncomfortable to having to justify myself today why he's not here. I believe that would rather be the other way around.
Do you think he regrets? Do you think he regrets leaving?
I don't know. You should ask him that question.
He's likely to get a tough reception from the Arsenal fans. I mean, is that a shame, given that obviously he's been such an important player here?
Look, I want every player to be respected, and Cesc Fabregas, when he comes on Sunday to the Emirates, to be respected like he deserves it.
Statistically, he's faded in the second half of the season. He's done that this season. He did that here and at Barcelona. You know him as a player. Do you have any idea why that happens?
No, it's different as well. I personally look to be completely honest. I think he's a great player, and but like every player, he has his good periods and the periods where it goes a bit less well. It's difficult for any player. He played nearly every single game since the start of the season to be absolutely at the top of his game for 50 games.
Another of you, ladies first.
Thank you. I just wondered whether you think that you're the only team remaining that could challenge Chelsea still.
Sorry?
Are you the only team remaining that could challenge Chelsea for the title still?
That could?
Yeah. Do you feel that you're the only team left that could mount a challenge?
No, Man United still has a chance as well, but there was a turning point certainly last week. You know, Man United not beating Chelsea. That was certainly a very important moment of the season for the Premiership. But now what we can do is to get closer to them, and we have that opportunity. We want to do it. It still means even if we beat them mathematically, we are still in a very, very strong position. But you never know.
Given the form that you've just shown, is there any regret looking back on the start of the season?
Yes, of course. We had a disturbed preparation. We had a disturbed post-World Cup start of the season, and we lost too many players at the start of the season to find a good balance. But since January, we have done very well. So we have a feeling we would like the championship to go on with 10 more games to go now.
And how much would you rate a season where you finish second and potentially win the FA Cup?
Again, I believe that first of all, nothing is done. There is a long way to go to finish second in the league, and there is a long way to go to win the FA Cup. So that's still very tricky in front of us. So, and for the rest, I let you judge that and assess that again.
Arsene, one of your former players who's making his first steps into management, Patrick Vieira, up at Manchester City. What sort of qualities do you think he brings to the management role?
I believe, like many other players, he has the intelligence and the competence to do this job. But I believe that Pellegrini is a super competence and a super quality as well. So if you want me to interfere in that, I'm not ready to do it.
With a player who's known the league, is it more and more difficult now for them to get an opportunity at a leading club?
I don't know. I believe that the media pressure maybe is bigger than a few years ago, but the problem is still the same. In the big clubs, you have to have a good record to win your games, and but as well you have better players to do it. But maybe what has changed is the competition in England is bigger than before, and you have 6-7 clubs who can fight at every start of a Premiership to win it, and that means 5 or 6 will be very sad at the end of the season.
As a squad, do you feel 7 points behind Chelsea?
Look, the reality you have to face, we live in a real world, and the real world is dictated by points. But sometimes you have to take a perspective as well. When you're fighting for the championship, and I know that well, when you're on a good run, sometimes you take points that in another season you were 2 or 3 places behind you would not take, because it's just the focus there a bit stronger and the belief a bit stronger that you can take these points. So the difference between the teams is not only measured by the difference in points, but nobody has given them the points. They had to fight for it and they made it.
Sorry, just one more. You've overtaken last season's champions, Manchester City. So does that show that you can bridge that gap as a club?
Yes, of course. And you know, you take the example of Man City. That shows you that's how fragile the position is. That nothing is forever in our game. Our game is so popular because it's not predictable always, and that's why even if you finish first this season, you can be 3 or 4 places behind in the next season.
Arsenal, a lot of people will talk about Eden Hazard winning the Player of the Year, probably because Chelsea win the league, but how close do you think Alexis Sanchez should run him for the Player of the Year?
Very close.
I mean, do you think he's
He had a
been
big
better?
impact, and let's not forget that for Eden Hazard it's not the first season, but for Alexis Sanchez it's the first season, and so he will give him a fight. If he doesn't make it this year, Alexis, he will give him a fight as well for next season.
Is your choice then, as Player of the Year, Sanchez?
Look, it's necessarily my choice because he's my player.
Thanks everyone. Take the microphones out.